Injured center Yao Ming said on Friday in Beijing that he's unlikely to miss the Beijing Olympics this August. Yao is now back in China to consult with traditional medicine practitioners over his NBA season-ending foot injury, saying he wasn't likely to be back at his best until late June or early July. Yao added his recovery was going pretty well. He says he's confident he will play for China at the Olympics in August.
The possibility for me to miss the Beijing Olympics is pretty rare. I didn't feel anything uncomfortable. During the recovery period, I didn't feel any pain in my leg. If I feel very sore or it hurts, I have to stop all recovery training. But I didn't feel any pain. So in the next stage, I will add weight and pressure on the injured leg.
For years, traditional Chinese spirit has been the must on many dinner tables in China. But now Chinese drinkers have more choices as the grain alcohol has met with competition from overseas. Yuan Xiaoyuan takes a closer look at increasing interest in tasting and collecting French wines.
Decades ago, wine from overseas was a luxury for most Chinese people, but now it has become more mainstream. In many cities like Shanghai, imported wine is easily found at most supermarkets, and many of them are in growing demand, particularly French wines. Some customers seem professional in judging the quality, even though they're not wine connoisseurs.
Sometimes when you turn it upside down, there are a lot of bubbles. Good wines don't have bubbles.
French wine is becoming more popular than ever in China. Statistics show the industry grew by a spectacular 145% in 2007 alone, pushing China to the 11th largest market by value for French wines and spirits. French wine merchants are optimistic about the future of the booming market, but what pleases them even more is the growing interest in wine culture.
When I first arrived in China in 1999, I was selling wine to my Chinese clients. I was always a bit frustrated because I knew that they would add soda in the red wine. Today the situation is completely different. Here our best clients are the Chinese who are very well educated in wine culture and know the product well.
People's consumption of wine is in line with their growing income and improving lifestyle. And the Chinese government has also promoted the industry since the 1990s in an attempt to decrease the consumption of traditional white wine, which is higher in alcohol. As the demand for expensive wines rises, wine companies are looking for ways to capture this new market. Wine clubs have opened in traditional Shanghai residential houses, blending the Western wine culture with the local Chinese. Many Chinese buy wines not only for drinking, but also for an investment.
From my understanding, wine is a healthy beverage. Also, you can invest in it because it can rise in value. It's also a cultural challenge.
In traditional Chinese restaurants, wine sales are also climbing. It's unknown whether wines from overseas will take the place of traditional Chinese spirit, but right now they are mixing well into Chinese culture. Yuan Xiaoyuan, CCTV.
And that's it for this edition of China Today. I'm Zhang Ling in Beijing. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Hello, I'm Yang Rui with Dialogue. The theme song of the Beijing Summer Olympic Games remains a most interesting mystery on the agenda of the BOCOG. Thousands of applicants must have submitted their works to a special panel of judges to generate more headlines in the days to come. Today, we are very happy to be joined by two of the strongest candidates in the current race, Mr. Tan Dun, music composer of the Academy Award for Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and winner of the Grover Meyer Award, and Mr. David Foster, winner of 14 Grammy Awards and nominee of this prize for 40 times. But up first, let's listen to their candid theme song for the 2008 Beijing Olympiad, One World, One Dream.
To see you in this place. You are everywhere I look as the light falls all around your face.
'Welcome to Dialogue. So, what's the chance for you to survive the current fierce competition? I mean, for the Olympic theme song.
To tell you the truth, we never really liked competition, and we really never believed competition. But we do so is just to try to play the game on the board with everybody. I think everybody is fantastic. Everybody tried fantastically to contribute whatever love, whatever feeling is for this wonderful game. You know? So it's not just a game, it's a game of love. It's a game of a friendship. It's a wonderful things to try. Yeah.
So Mr. Tan Dun's analysis is a combination of both optimism and cynicism, so to speak. He compares the current contest to a game, but he said so in a very friendly tone. But what's your personal take about your chance? Because you have invested heavily in the production of this beautiful theme song, and I've heard it before I came over. So what do you think of your chance?
Well, my feeling is that, I mean, people in our position, we don't love the idea of competition, but, you know, we have to do whatever we have to do. I think it's exciting for China, for the people of China, to know that there's so many people around the world that want to have their song at these Olympics. And it's not just about being at the Olympics. It's the Beijing Olympics has a mysticism to it and an excitement to it that we all want to be part of. And I don't think that anybody, any composer or musician, is too big to be in a competition once in a while. It's kind of healthy.
Despite your strong goodwill to downplay the competitive aspect of this contest, I'm impressed by part of the lyrics of your song, which says, where there is a chance, there is hope. So after all, you place your expectations on winning big, not only on survival itself. So what do you think is the competitive edge of your music for the games?
First of all, text by Amy Foster, wonderful genius writer, and David's daughter, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah, we had a marvelous, actually, exchange of ideas, and finally we find a common point, which her text and my music and David's music can really a 1 + 1 + 1 equals 1 now. So we felt pretty much excited because it sounds like the text is perfect for the music, and the music actually addresses the text perfectly. We are very happy, actually.
David, do you agree that you represent the best?
You know, I've done some great work, and I've done some bad work. I think this is some of my great work, and I think the collaboration of the East and the West, and that I was able to meet Tan Dun and join forces in a way that really does bring the music. It sounds kind of corny to say bring the East and the West together. You know, it sounds like you're trying to be, you know, political or tear down a wall or something. But really, it's two cultures musically that are so disparate and so different, and we managed to make it sound unified. And I think we did a really good job of it.
You have traveled extensively, right, to prepare yourselves for the writing and production of the song. But tell me how much you know about this country and its culture.
Well, I've learned. I'm learning as I go, of course, and of course I know nothing compared to what I should know. But to use that question in terms of the Olympics, I know one thing for sure, that on August the 8th, the entire world is going to be focused on China, and specifically Beijing. And there needs to be a piece of music that speaks to both cultures, and I think we've done that.
And Mr. Tan, what do you want to tell the world by that historic moment when attention of the whole world is focused on Beijing?
Actually, when I was writing the music, I was fantasize the moment, or if we could catch up that moment, or if we can store this moment forever, then what is the moment? I thought it's like all the strangers coming together, suddenly be freezed in a love cage, everybody trying to